All right, so we're getting ready for that Postman-Postwoman interview, and we're going to deep dive into RoleCatcher's resources to help you absolutely nail it.
We are.
Think of this as like a crash course
Yeah.
in interview prep with some extra like career insights sprinkled in to really make you shine.
We've got a ton of great guides to pull from. Common interview questions, smart approaches, even tips on using RoleCatcher's AI to really tailor your answers and get that extra edge.
Yeah, and before we jump into the questions, I always like to just set the stage.
Sure.
What comes to mind when you think of a postman or postwoman? Is it just about delivering mail, or is there more to it?
Oh, there's definitely more to it than meets the eye.
I think so, too.
The career guide paints a picture of someone who's not just out there in all weather, but who's also like the friendly face of the community, right? They're making sure those essential items reach their destination. It's physical work, customer interaction, and even problem solving on the fly.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that's probably why so many of the interview questions focus on that customer service element.
Right.
Speaking of questions, let's dive into some from the RoleCatcher guides.
Okay.
The first one is pretty straightforward.
All right.
Can you tell us about your previous work experience as a postman or postwoman? But what are the interviewers really trying to dig for here?
They're looking for evidence that you understand the demands of the role, even if you haven't actually been a postwoman before.
Oh, okay.
Have you handled like large volumes of items? Have you managed your time effectively? Have you dealt with customers?
Yeah.
You want to think about how your past experiences, even those that are seemingly unrelated, can demonstrate skills that would translate well into this job.
So it's not just about listing the jobs, it's about really connecting the dots for them and showing how those skills would be useful in this new role.
Exactly.
The sample responses section in the interview guide gives some great examples of how to do this.
It does?
For instance, one candidate talked about their experience as a waiter and how they had to juggle multiple orders, prioritize tasks, and handle customer requests efficiently all at the same time.
That's a great example.
So think about your own experiences. Have you ever had a job where you had to stay organized, be on your feet all day, or deal with those like really unexpected situations?
Absolutely.
What stands out to you as the most transferable skill that you've gained in your past roles?
That's a great question.
And I love that it's making me think too.
It's always good to reflect.
The next question from the guide focuses on organization. How do you prioritize and manage your workload as a postman or postwoman? Why is this such a key question, do you think?
Well, efficiency is really the name of the game here.
Okay.
You've got a lot of ground to cover up off it within a really specific time frames they want to know.
Yeah.
You can handle that pressure, stay organized, and ensure that all those deliveries are made on schedule.
So they're looking for someone who's not easily flustered, can think on their feet,
Exactly.
stay organized.
Yep.
The guide mentions using route planning apps and grouping deliveries by area to try to minimize that travel time. What other strategies might be helpful here?
Well, I think thinking ahead is crucial. So do you check the weather forecast to anticipate any delays? Do you have a system for sorting mail before you even hit the road? Maybe you prioritize time-sensitive deliveries first, like those that require signatures or special handling?
That's really smart.
Yeah, what would your approach be to ensure a smooth and efficient delivery day?
I love that question. And I think that's where those personal anecdotes can really shine in an interview.
Absolutely.
And the next question dives into something I think every postman, postwoman faces.
Yeah.
How do you handle difficult customers or situations when you're out there delivering mail?
Oh, yeah.
And, I bet this ties into those customer service skills that we were talking about earlier.
Absolutely. You are the face of the Postal Service, and sometimes you are going to encounter folks who are frustrated, maybe even angry.
Oh, for sure.
The interviewer wants to see how you navigate those interactions while staying professional and ultimately finding solutions.
So it's not just about staying calm, it's about problem solving on the spot. The guide offers a great example of a candidate who dealt with a misplaced package. They calmly apologized, reassured the customer, and took immediate steps to locate that missing item.
That's a great example.
Have you ever been in a situation where you had to diffuse a tense situation? What did you learn from that?
I think that's a great question to consider. And remember, it's okay to admit that you've faced challenges. It's all about how you handled them. That really matters. The guide emphasizes owning the situation, following procedures, and making sure the customer feels heard, even if you don't have all the answers immediately.
Building that trust, even when things go wrong.
Right.
Now let's talk about a scenario that I think really highlights the trust placed in postmen and postwomen. How do you ensure that all mail is delivered accurately and securely.
Uh-huh.
This one seems like a no-brainer, but why do you think interviewers keep coming back to it?
Because it is the cornerstone of the entire postal system.
Okay.
You're handling important documents, packages, sometimes even sensitive information. The interviewer wants to know that you take that responsibility seriously and that you have systems in place to prevent errors or breaches.
So it's about being meticulous and demonstrating that you're not cutting corners.
Exactly.
The guide emphasizes the importance of verifying addresses, carefully matching them against identification for certain deliveries, and getting those signatures when required.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had a job where attention to detail was super crucial? How did you ensure accuracy in that role?
That's a great way to connect your past experiences to this question. Remember, the interviewer wants to see that you've developed those habits of carefulness and precision, even if it was in a different context.
Okay, now let's shift gears slightly and talk about staying up to date.
Sure.
The next question is, how do you stay informed about changes in postal policies and procedures?
Okay.
Why is this important? It's not like the rules of mail delivery change every day, right?
Well, not every day, but the postal industry is evolving.
It's true.
New technologies are being introduced. Security protocols are updated. Delivery methods might change. They want to see that you're committed to continuous learning and staying ahead of the curve.
So it's not just about learning the ropes. It's about showing that you're adaptable and eager to grow with the industry.
Absolutely.
The guide mentions attending mandatory training sessions,
Right?
proactively checking the Postal Service website or intranet for updates.
Yep.
What other resources might be helpful for staying informed?
Well, industry publications, professional associations, even online forums can be great sources of information and insights.
Oh, that's a good point.
What are some ways you stay current in your field? How do you learn about new trends or changes in best practices?
I love that. And it shows you're curious and proactive,
Mhm.
which are valuable qualities in any job.
Absolutely.
Now let's talk about a situation that I think every postwoman hopes to avoid,
Okay.
but needs to be prepared for. How do you handle a situation where a package is damaged or lost during delivery?
Mm-hmm.
This one feels a bit heavier, doesn't it?
It definitely does.
Yeah.
It's a high-stakes situation not only for the customer, but for the Postal Service's reputation.
Absolutely.
The interviewer wants to see how you take ownership, problem solve, and communicate effectively when things go wrong.
It's about demonstrating that accountability and having that solutions-oriented mindset.
Mm-hmm.
The guide provides a powerful example of a candidate who encountered a damaged package.
Okay.
They apologized to the customer, documented the damage thoroughly, and initiated the claim process. They even went above and beyond by offering to help the customer find a replacement item.
Wow.
What stands out to you about that approach?
It shows empathy, proactiveness, and a willingness to go the extra mile.
I think so too.
Think about a time when you had to deal with a mistake or an unexpected problem at work. How did you handle it? What steps did you take to rectify the situation?
That's a great question to think about. Now, before we move on to the next set of questions, I want to take a moment to highlight something we mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
RoleCatcher's AI.
Yep.
It's not just about providing general information. It can actually help you tailor your answers to specific job postings.
It can.
Imagine you find a Postman-Postwoman job that seems perfect for you. You upload your CV to RoleCatcher,
Huh.
and its AI analyzes the job description, pinpointing any skills you might be missing.
Oh, wow.
It's like having a personal career coach highlighting areas you can strengthen.
That's incredible.
And it doesn't stop there. RoleCatcher provides AI-powered feedback on your CV, your cover letter, and even those tricky application questions that often stump people.
It's like having an expert editor reviewing your materials, giving you personalized tips to make them stand out.
Now let's dive back into those interview questions, shall we? We still have a few more to cover that focus on the day-to-day realities of being a postman or postwoman ready for the next challenge.
Let's hear it.
All right, this one highlights the physical demands of the job. How do you ensure that all mail is delivered safely in adverse weather conditions?
Ooh.
What are they really trying to gauge here?
Well, they're looking for your commitment to safety, both for yourself and the mail that you're entrusted with.
Right.
Rain, snow, heat waves, postmen and postwomen deliver in all conditions.
Yeah.
Do you wear appropriate clothing and footwear? Do you take extra precautions when roads are slippery? Things like that.
Absolutely. The simple responses offer some good tips here. One candidate mentioned checking weather forecasts before even heading out, wearing reflective gear for visibility, using a sturdy cart with secure compartments to protect the mail.
Smart.
But beyond those practicalities, what kind of mindset do you think is essential for handling those really challenging days?
Resilience, adaptability, and a positive attitude go a long way. It's about showing you're not easily discouraged by a little or a lot of bad weather.
That's a great point.
Imagine yourself facing a blizzard or a heat wave.
Oh,
What strategies would you use to stay safe and ensure those deliveries are made?
I love that it's like a visualization exercise, and it's something that you can even practice during your interview prep. Now let's talk about those inevitable moments when deliveries don't go exactly as planned. The next question is, how do you handle a situation where you cannot deliver mail to a specific address? What's the key to answering this one effectively?
Problem solving.
Oh, of course.
Sometimes addresses are incorrect, recipients are unavailable, or there are access issues.
Right.
They want to see that you can think on your feet, use your resources, and find a workable solution.
So being resourceful and demonstrating that you don't just give up easily.
Exact.
The guide offers an example of a candidate who encountered a loose dog
Oh, no.
blocking access to the mailbox.
Mhm.
They decided to return later, hoping that the dog would be secured, and left a notice informing the recipient of the attempted delivery.
Smart.
Have you ever had a job where you had to improvise or find creative solutions to unexpected obstacles? What did you learn from those experiences?
I think those are the stories that interviewers love to hear. It shows you're not just following the script. You can adapt and think on your feet. And remember, RoleCatcher's AI can help you identify those experiences in your past that might seem irrelevant at first glance, but actually demonstrate valuable skills.
It's like having a secret weapon to unlock the hidden potential in your work history. Now, before we dive into the final few questions, let's take a moment to talk about career progression.
Okay.
You aced the interview, you landed the job, congratulations, but what's next?
Well, the Advancing Your Career section of the Career Guide is packed with insights on how to grow within the Postal Service. It emphasizes the importance of continuous learning, staying updated on policies and procedures, and even creating a portfolio to showcase your achievements.
Okay.
Imagine starting as a postman-postwoman and eventually moving into a supervisory or managerial role.
That'd be awesome.
That would be incredible.
Yeah,
It shows that there's real potential for growth and leadership within this career path.
I love that.
And remember, RoleCatcher can help you identify those skills and experiences that will make you a strong candidate for advancement. It's like having a roadmap to success guiding you every step of the way.
Now, with that inspiring thought in mind, let's tackle the final set of interview questions. Ready to finish strong.
Bring it on. All right, let's jump back into those interview questions. The next one really highlights the importance of accuracy and attention to detail. How do you maintain accurate records of deliveries and pickups? It might seem like a small thing, but why do you think interviewers care so much about this?
Well, I'm guessing it's about more than just like staying organized. It probably speaks to a bigger picture of accountability and responsibility, right?
Exactly. Accurate records are crucial for tracking deliveries, resolving disputes, even ensuring the security of the mail.
Okay.
Think about it. If a customer claims they didn't receive a package or there's a question about a delivery time, those records can be essential in getting to the bottom of things.
It's about protecting yourself and the Postal Service as a whole. The interview guide talks about using handheld scanners, physical logbooks, and electronic signatures to keep a really clear trail of information. What would your preferred method be and why?
That's a great question to consider. It's about finding a system that works for you and ensures that no detail slips through the cracks. And remember, even if you're super comfortable with technology, being able to explain your process clearly and concisely is key in an interview.
Absolutely. Speaking of technology, the next question is, how do you stay informed about changes in postal policies and procedures? I imagine with all the new technologies popping up, things are changing faster than ever. What are some ways to stay ahead of the curve?
You're absolutely right. The postal industry is constantly evolving. The Career Guide emphasizes the importance of attending training sessions, checking the Postal Service website for updates, and subscribing to industry publications. But it also highlights something really interesting, joining professional associations.
Oh, that's a great point. I hadn't even thought about that. What's the benefit of joining a professional association?
Well, it's a fantastic way to network, stay informed about industry trends, and even access additional training and resources. It shows you're serious about your career and invested in professional development.
So it's not just about what you know, but also who you know and how you continue to learn and grow.
Right.
And that brings us to a question that, let's face it, nobody wants to think about.
Yeah.
How do you handle a situation where a package is damaged or lost during delivery?
Right.
It's one of those moments where everything can feel like it's going wrong.
It's definitely a challenging situation,
Right.
but it's important to remember that these things can happen even to the most careful and experienced postman or postwoman. The key is to demonstrate accountability, a solutions-oriented mindset, and excellent communication skills.
The sample response section shares a powerful story about a candidate who encountered a damaged package. They didn't try to downplay the situation or shift blame.
Right?
Instead, they immediately apologized to the customer, documented the damage meticulously, and initiated the claims process. They even went above and beyond by offering to help the customer find a replacement item. What stands out to you about this approach? How would you apply it to a similar situation?
I think it's all about empathy and taking ownership, even when it's not your fault.
Absolutely. And speaking of taking ownership, the next question focuses on another challenge that postwomen often face. How do you ensure that all mail is delivered safely in adverse weather conditions? This is where the job goes beyond just delivering letters and packages, right?
Absolutely. It's about resilience, adaptability, and a commitment to safety, both for yourself and the mail that you're carrying. Rain, snow, sleet, hail, postmen and postwomen deliver in all conditions.
The guide mentions practical tips, like dressing appropriately for the weather, checking forecasts, and using waterproof bags or sturdy carts. But beyond those practicalities, what kind of mindset do you think is essential for those tough weather days?
I think it's about having a positive attitude and a can-do spirit.
Cool.
It's about being prepared for the unexpected and not letting a little or a lot of bad weather get you down. What are some ways you stay motivated and focused when things get tough? How do you approach challenges with a positive mindset?
Those are great questions to reflect on. And remember, your attitude and resilience can shine through even in your answers to seemingly simple questions.
Absolutely.
Now let's talk about those inevitable moments when a delivery hits a snag. The next question is, how do you handle a situation where you cannot deliver mail to a specific address?
This is where those problem-solving skills come into play. Sometimes addresses are incorrect, recipients are unavailable, or there are access issues.
Yeah, those definitely happen.
They want to see that you can think on your feet, use your resources, and find a solution that works for everyone.
The interview guide shares an example of a candidate who encountered a loose dog blocking the mailbox.
Oh, no.
They made the smart decision to return later, hoping that the dog would be secured, and left a notice informing the recipient of the attempted delivery.
Good idea.
Have you ever had a job where you had to improvise or find creative solutions to unexpected problems? What strategies did you use?
Those are the stories that interviewers love to hear. It shows you're not just following a script. You can adapt and think outside the box when needed. And remember, RoleCatcher's AI can help you identify those experiences in your past that might seem irrelevant at first glance, but actually demonstrate valuable problem-solving skills.
It's like having a secret weapon to unlock the hidden potential in your work history. Now, before we wrap up this deep dive into interview questions, let's circle back to something we touched on earlier, RoleCatcher's AI.
Right.
It's not just about providing general information. It can actually help you tailor your answers to specific job postings.
That's right. Imagine you find a Postman-Postwoman job that seems perfect for you. You upload your CV to RoleCatcher, and its AI analyzes the job description, pinpointing any skills or experiences that you might be missing.
It's like having a personal career coach highlighting areas you can strengthen.
Yeah.
And it doesn't stop there. RoleCatcher also provides AI-powered feedback on your CV cover letter and even those tricky application questions that often stump people. It's like having an expert editor in your corner, giving you personalized tips to make your application stand out.
Exactly.
Now, we've covered a lot of ground already, but we still have a few more insightful questions to unpack. Are you ready for the final stretch?
Absolutely. Let's dive back in. Okay, we're in the home stretch of our interview prep deep dive.
We are.
Let's tackle this next question, which is all about those moments when things don't go exactly as planned. How do you handle a situation where you can't deliver mail to a specific address?
Ah, yes, the classic delivery dilemma.
Right.
It's bound to happen: incorrect addresses, recipients not home, unexpected obstacles. This question is all about gauging your resourcefulness and problem-solving skills.
So it's not about having like a solution for every possible scenario, but just about demonstrating you can think on your feet and take initiative. Exactly. The sample responses section in the interview guide has a great example of a candidate who encountered a locked mailbox due to construction. They didn't just give up. They called the recipient, explained the situation, and arranged for a later delivery. What I love about this example is it shows initiative and a willingness to go the extra mile.
And it also highlights the importance of communication, right? Both with the recipient and potentially with your supervisor.
Absolutely.
Now, imagine you're facing a similar situation. You arrive at an address, but there's no mailbox, no safe place to leave a package, and no answer at the door. What's your next move?
That's a great question to ponder. Think about the resources you have available. Could you leave a notice? Check with a neighbor. Contact your supervisor for guidance. This is where those problem-solving skills really come into play.
Yeah, and it's a chance to showcase your knowledge of those postal procedures and your commitment to making sure those deliveries are made safely and efficiently.
Right.
Speaking of safety, let's talk about a question that really emphasizes the physical demands of being a postman or postwoman. How do you ensure that all mail is delivered safely in adverse weather conditions?
Okay.
This is where the job goes beyond just delivering letters and packages.
It does. It's about resilience, adaptability, and a commitment to getting the job done, rain or shine or snow or sleet.
Exactly. The career guide offers those practical tips like dressing appropriately for the weather, checking forecasts, using protective gear for yourself and the mail. But what's equally important, I think, is that mindset that you bring to those challenging days.
Absolutely.
I imagine it takes a certain amount of grit and determination to face those extreme conditions head on.
It does think about a time when you had to persevere through a difficult situation. What motivated you to keep going? How did you maintain a positive attitude in the face of adversity? Those are the qualities that interviewers are looking for.
And remember, even if you haven't faced a blizzard on a delivery route, before you can draw from other experiences in your life where you've demonstrated that resilience and a commitment to getting the job done no matter the obstacles.
That's a great point.
Now, before we wrap up this section, let's talk about a question that can feel a bit daunting, but it's essential to be prepared for. How do you handle a situation where a customer is not satisfied with your service?
The dreaded customer service challenge.
Right.
It's bound to happen at some point. A late delivery, a damaged package, a miscommunication. This question is all about assessing your interpersonal skills, your ability to stay calm under pressure, and your commitment to finding solutions.
The interview guide offers some great advice here.
Right.
Listen attentively to the customer's concerns, apologize sincerely for any inconvenience, and offer solutions whenever possible.
Right.
I love that it focuses on that empathy and understanding.
It's about turning a potentially negative interaction into an opportunity to build rapport and demonstrate exceptional customer service. Think about a time when you had to deal with a difficult customer. What strategies did you use to de-escalate the situation and find a resolution?
Those are valuable lessons to draw from. And remember, RoleCatcher's AI can help you identify those experiences in your past that might not seem directly related to customer service, but actually showcase your ability to handle challenging interactions and find common ground.
It's all about connecting the dots and demonstrating those transferable skills that you've developed throughout your career.
And with that, we've reached the end of our deep dive into those crucial interview questions. But before we say goodbye, I want to emphasize the incredible resource that you have at your fingertips. RoleCatcher's AI.
Yes.
It's not just a collection of guides. It's a powerful tool that can help you personalize your application, identify areas for improvement, and ultimately shine in that interview.
Absolutely. From analyzing job descriptions and tailoring your CV to practicing your interview responses and getting that AI-powered feedback, RoleCatcher is your secret weapon in that job search process.
So as you embark on this journey to become a postman or postwoman, remember, you have the knowledge, the resources, and the skills to succeed. We're cheering you on every step of the way.
Good luck, you've got this.